Hey everybody, what's going on? It's me, Tony, and we are back for another Ask 5. So let's get into it. Our first question comes from Wendy, and Wendy is basically asking, how do you stay motivated if you've been active and all of a sudden you get injured? Well, my answer for this is in 3 parts. The first part is, it depends on where the injury is. If you've injured your lower body, then keep your upper body moving. If you've injured your upper body, then keep your lower body moving. Whatever it is, you got to pull back a little bit, but don't stop moving. You got to keep exercising. You got to keep in the groove. The second thing is you have to stay in the game mentally. You got to make sure you don't fall into the, oh man, I'm done. Oh, that's it. All my progress is lost. There's no way I'm going to be able to continue. You got to get rid of all that. An injury is an injury. All of us with, oh, I know that it happens and there's nothing you can do about it sometimes, but you got to get right back on the horse. You got to ride again. So you can't let that stop you. You can't mentally get brought down and stopped. The third thing is, and probably the most important, is as soon as an injury occurs, you got to make sure that your nutrition is on point 100%. You got to make sure, since you're limited in your activity, you got to make sure that you're watching your calorie intake and you're watching what you eat, because that's really going to affect weight gain, etc., and it's going to affect how quickly you heal. So make sure you're getting extra protein, make sure you're getting your carbs and everything so that your body can heal. So it's those 3 things. Stay in the game mentally, make sure you keep moving depending on where your injury is, and make sure that your nutrition is on point immediately after that injury. Next question is from Donald, and he is asking for the best approach when it comes to restricted range of motion in joints. Now, I personally have restricted range of motion in my hips, and what I do is I focus on the isometric portion of most of the exercises. Now you have your concentric, you have your isometric, which is the hold, and you have your eccentric, which is the release. So basically the isometric is that hold, and that's what you really want to focus on when you have limited range of motion. So for me and my hips, if I'm raising my hip or leg out to the side, I really make sure I focus on that hold. No matter how far I can bring my leg out, I really focus on that hold, and I hold for a few extra seconds each rep. So I focus on the whole exercise, but I'm really giving it a little bit extra because I can't really get that range of motion going as far out. I really concentrate on that isometric hold. For people that can't even move a joint, say, that isometric hold can still work. Like in your elbow, say, you can't even bend your elbow. If you just tighten, like you're making the move to bring your elbow up, you're going to tighten your bicep. That's the isometric hold. You're actually working out that muscle. So it's very important. If you have limited range, take it as far as you can, but make sure you're really getting that hold, that isometric hold at the top, so you're really working that muscle as much as you can. That's my advice for that. The next question comes from Drew, and Drew is asking me for tips for somebody who is intimidated about going to and joining a gym. So I have a few points to talk about here. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make friends as soon as you get there. Now, I definitely suggest making friends with the people that work at the gym. Every gym will have a crew of personal trainers. You want to make friends with them. Even if you're not going to hire them to get into personal training, you definitely want to make friends with them, because those are going to be the most educated people in the gym. You also want to make friends with the workers, the person at the front desk, the person walking around cleaning up weights and re-racking weights and stuff like that. Make friends with all of the employees. These are going to be your biggest support system in the gym. You also want to make friends with people that are working out. You can tell the people that have their headphones on and they're just doing their thing, don't mess with them. But you will find people like you in the gym that want to meet other people and that want to be friendly and want to talk about workouts and exercises and stuff like that. So definitely make friends with the workers and the crew of personal trainers, because they are going to be the ones to be that first support system as you get going. The second piece of advice is, don't be afraid to ask how to use a piece of equipment in the gym. If it's a machine or whatever it is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Again, ask the personal trainers, ask the people that work there, and don't be afraid. That's what they are there for. They're there to instruct you on how to use it. A big key advice here is don't ask someone else that's working out how to use it, because everyone has their own techniques. The people that work there are going to show you how to properly use the machine, how it was built and made to be used. Then you can go ahead and modify as you need, just as all the other people have done. So if you make the mistake and ask someone else, they may show you the incorrect way to use the machine. They're going to show you their way. If you ask one of the personnel, they're going to show you the proper way to use the machine, and that's super important. Now, I know that someone had suggested Planet Fitness, and I would agree with that. Planet Fitness, you know, their motto is there's no meatheads or something like that, and there's no attitudes, etc. You know, I feel that this is across the board at most gyms these days, LA Fitness 24, etc. I think people are there to be supportive to everybody that's inside the gym, but Planet Fitness is a good choice, and they're only 10 bucks a month. So if you have one in your neighborhood, I would say definitely check one of those out and start there. But again, make friends with the personnel, with the personal trainers. Don't be afraid to ask about how to use equipment, and talk to people. You know, just have fun. Everyone is there to get healthy and have fun, so just have those conversations with people. Our next question comes from Chris, and Chris is asking, do the healthy standard weight ranges apply for adults with OI? And the simple answer is no, they don't, because what is standard is very different. I mean, as you see, everyone with OI is different. We have different types of OI, and the different types have different body structures, different heights and sizes, etc. So anything standard is not going to apply. And that's just normal ranges. When you're talking about even within the OI community and different people with OI, everybody is different. Even type 3s to type 1s, and all the type 3s are different heights and weights, etc. So I don't think that a healthy weight range is determined by something that's standard. The answer to this is you have to talk to your doctor. You have to see a nutritionist probably, and you got to talk to maybe a dietitian and talk about it and get measured with you know, special equipment, etc., so that you can really get the correct body weight that you should be for your size. You know, I would say that the bottom line is, how do you feel? Do you feel healthy? You know, do you feel strong? Do you feel like there's excess fat anywhere on your body? It's these types of questions, you know, that you need to answer, because the number, as far as a healthy range, isn't going to matter as much as, you know, how you actually feel. So definitely talk to your doctor and see about that. Okay, our last question comes from Missy, and she is asking, is it safe to exercise if you have a tear in a tendon or a muscle? When you experience an injury that is a tear in either a tendon or a muscle, no matter what, you want to give it time to heal. So everything's going to be different. It's going to depend on the severity of the tear, the severity of the injury, and if you have to have it repaired, etc. So all the time for repair and rehab is going to be different. But the main thing to look at here is you don't want to start back too soon, and you don't want to wait too long to start back either. If you start back too soon, you're going to know it. You're going to start exercising in that area, that muscle, that tendon is going to immediately feel pain. You're going to swell up and you're going to have acute pain, and that's when you know that you've started too quickly and went too hard and went too soon. If you wait too long, on the other hand, what happens is sometimes scar tissue will build up around that muscle or that tendon, and then what that does is when you go back to moving, it will change the functionality, change your mobility, and it's going to give you improper motion. So you want to make sure that you don't wait too long, and you want to make sure that you don't start back too soon. So don't start back too soon, and don't wait too long. And when you do start back, you want to start back slowly. So you want to go really easy on that body part, and then work up to it, work up to it, work up to it. But no matter what, you know, don't stop. You want to get back into it. So don't start too quickly, and don't wait too long. And when you start back slowly. All right, guys, last question. It's a bonus question. Straight from Taylor, she asks, why did the chicken cross the road? Simple answer, because his cheat meal was on the other side, right? Anyway, that's it for Ask 5 this time. Thank you to everybody for submitting your questions. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have found some value in this video. If so, please share it wherever is appropriate. And yeah, we'll see you next time.